and welcome back to Who Would Win? The week of Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Jace Murphy and Luke Rivera, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Batman or Jason Voorhees? Now, I'm sure no matter what, I'm going to get people, especially from the... I've noticed it's the horror movie camp who gets a bit more pissed off with you or gets a bit more vocal with you when you allegedly don't get things right about the characters. Mike Myers and Jason are two of the ones I've had a lot of people try to correct me on things. And I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's where I've seen a lot of the backlash come from. But let's go over Batman. Obviously, it's Batman Bruce Wayne. Obviously, he's the Dark Knight. So his parents get killed. He swore to a lifelong mission to get rid of crime, everything along those lines, protect the innocent. Does it his own way, obviously. He is physically a little actually beyond peak human. He's not truly super strength or anything like that, but he's worked out so much that he's kind of beyond peak human to just a mild degree. He wears body armor to protect himself against knives and bullets. It's electro-proof. Can survive quite a hit, too. He's a master martial arts, mastering every form of martial arts on the planet. He is armed to the teeth with gadgets. He can summon the Batmobile from just a button, basically. He's got his batarangs will come in sonic, concussion, electric, standard. He's got smoke grenades, gas pellets. His grappling gun, which his tensile strength is enough that it's extremely difficult to cut. You need like special knives or equipment to cut the grappling lines. His gauntlets, the wrist gauntlets that have the spikes on them. First, spikes are blades. They can't hurt, but also they are electrifying. So he can charge up and basically take out individuals or electrify individuals with each shot or hit. Batman is also one of the world's greatest tacticians and a genius. So strategy is usually how he takes down much stronger opponents than himself. For example, taking out someone like Killer Croc, Bane, or Clayface does require a bit of strategy on his part. Batman is famous for basically having contingency plan. Oh, excuse me 1 second. Just kind of trying to straighten myself out here. Famous for having a contingency plan for just about everything. Even his contingency plans have contingency plans. Batman R.I.P. Where basically he his contingency plan for losing his mind was to have an alter ego in place in case that happened. And then the contingency plan for that was eventually he would come back and, get revenge and all that. But yeah, and there have been many, iterations of Batman where he's actually gone toe-to-toe with individuals like Superman and taking down Superman. Like Darkseid, gone toe-to-toe with Darkseid. Individuals who he shouldn't, by any regular stretch of the imagination, be able to take on because of just how vastly superior they are. But because he's a strategist, prudent planning, he can do that. He's taken down the Justice League on a couple occasions. He is considered, I think, by Superman to be the most dangerous man on the planet when push comes to shove. But that is Batman overall. Jason Voorhees, we all know the story of Jason Voorhees. He was a deformed kid. It's not that he was mentally retarded. It's more that he was just developmentally slow. And the fact that, he got technically drowned in the lake does make it a bit more difficult for him to, learn and, improve from there. But he came back. Well, he didn't come back, per se. He was always around. He just lived in the woods. And he started killing kids and Camp Crystal Lake. But no matter how many times I put him down, he always came back. Now, there are several versions of Jason we'll look over. There is obviously the versions I always go with. So there's the main series continuity Jason, which more or less ends at Jason Goes to Hell. Now, in Jason Goes to Hell, he's pretty much a resurrecting demon zombie of vengeance that can only technically be killed by the blood of by a Voorhees stabbing him with a special blade. Now, obviously, we will be looking at, if you were to go up against anyone like with actual mystic powers, like Doctor Strange, for example, that would be a pointless little thing. I can only die this way. Yeah, well, have you ever tried this? Crap, I died. Yeah, it's like there's no real mysticism in like in the true sense of the term, like there is no Sorcerer Supreme, there is no Merlin or anything like that in the Jason Voorhees universe. That's just that's there is nothing. No, there's none. Um, but um, but Jason is kind of incapable of dying by any other means in the standard continuity. He always comes back. He has a very low mass regeneration factor, superhuman strength, and can possess other people until he got his real body back. We're not going to factor that in per se, unless Batman actually succeeds in killing him. But Jason shares this pretty much kind of the same trait a lot of the Jasons share, and that is that they're really slow. The only one who's actually legitimately fast on his feet is the human Jason from the reboot. Now, and I'll reference it, don't worry. And I'll know for a fact if someone actually watched almost 6 minutes in, because I'm about to bring it up at the 6-minute mark. So I get so many people saying that Jason is capable of teleporting. And how did they do it in the game? Jason can teleport. Jason can teleport. Jason can teleport. So let's address that for a minute. In the game, yes, obviously you can teleport as Jason, which I guess means I should technically count the game version of Jason as a separate version of Jason. Because while the implication, and let's be very clear here, and in fact I'm going to just Google it while I'm here. Can Jason teleport? Teleport. Okay. While the implication is there that he's teleporting, there is no direct statement in the movies that he is teleporting. And even if he is teleporting, like I got a real teleport, like Nightcrawler, Doctor Strange can teleport when being observed or not. A real teleport, like Nightcrawler can teleport. Hold on, they just repeated themselves in this answer. Okay, does Jason from Friday the 13th have the ability to teleport? So the short answer, basically, most Stuart Fleming's Loves Horror basically kind of says, like, short answer is not really. Those scenes are where he seems to magically appear out of nowhere as a trait most horror villains possess, and that is very true. Michael Myers does that. I mean, Freddy does have abilities, but that's beside the point. Like Ghostface will do that. So, yeah, the 8th one only took this more up to absurd levels. If they can't teleport when someone's watching them, then it's not real teleportation. Real teleport, like Nightcrawler or Doctor Strange, can teleport while being observed or not. That's the thing. I think while the game allowed that, the game isn't canon A to the real series, and B, it's even if Jason is capable of doing some minor version of teleporting, it is only when someone's not observing him. And even then, he's got a limit. It's not like he can just teleport wherever he wants in the world, or even wherever he wants in Camp Crystal Lake. It seems to be within a very short span of time or distance within the movies. So, can Jason legitimately teleport in any continuity other than the game? No, not really. Can he maybe pseudo-teleport? We see it, at least in the main series, that he can kind of do that. But again, as that person kind of pointed out, we've seen like Mike Myers do that. Does Mike Myers have the capability of teleporting? Now we're going to get so many people arguing that. No, by all accounts, he does not have that ability. And it's never directly stated that Jason has that ability outside the game, which, let's be honest, is just made for the fandom. So it's taking all the things that you basically asked about Jason and throwing it in there. Oh, get Jason to teleport? Let's give him a teleport ability. We made it look like he can teleport. Is Jason immortal? Kind of. I mean, you're never really going to die. It's a game anyway. Does Jason got super strength? Of course he's got super strength. Is he a zombie? Sure. It's a game. So for those who use the game as an argument, I please ask you to, I'm not going to say stop, but just think it through first. Anyway, so that's the main series, Jason. Reboot Jason's just a human. He is the quickest on his feet, admittedly, but he is still no tougher than a normal human. The whole him popping out of the lake at the end, we don't know if he actually did that or if that was just just like a dream sequence like in the last one. But yeah, he's probably the most adept with like hunting armed machete, crossbow, or a bow and arrow, that kind of thing. So hatchet. He's probably the most adept. He's probably the most woodsman-like. You can make an argument the main series Jason was for a while, but then he became something more than that. Then you have Uber Jason, Comic Jason, and Zombie Jason. And I'm not, you know what? I'm gonna actually, I think from now on, I'm taking Zombie Jason out of the equation from Friday the 13th because it technically, because Jason Goes to Hell does end on that cliffhanger of Freddy taking the mask. So I guess you can say there's an argument they're in the same continuity. I guess you can make that argument. So we'll take Zombie Jason out of these equations now. Uber Jason obviously is enhanced by metal, like special featurized metal, which basically reconstituted his entire body and made him bulletproof. He survived re-entry into a planet's atmosphere. He could survive outer space, tear through metal like it was nothing, hurl giant fucking trees. Like, Uber Jason's legit, man. And then finally there was Comic Jason, who is arguably I wouldn't say he's arguably the strongest version of Jason. I'd say Uber Jason's stronger than a Comic Jason. But what Uber Jason and Comic Jason both had in common was very enhanced regenerative capabilities. Particularly Comic Jason. Uber Jason is very, can regenerate, sure, but it does take him some effort to regenerate. It's not like Wolverine where it just... It's not like that. Whereas Comic Jason, on the other hand, kind of is. Like, it's not quite as instantaneous, but he will just, if he gets, I think there's one scene I remember seeing in one of the panels where he got it kind of like chopped like that. He's kind of hanging like that, and kind of just waited a little bit and just, okay, I'm good. And like that's how tough Comic Jason ultimately is. So, Batman versus Jason. So we should really preface this by saying Batman has fought much tougher individuals than Jason and won, but a lot of that came with prudent planning. Let's say somehow Jason gets stuck in Gotham. Any version of Jason. That's just how I'll throw this out. I mean, Jason took Manhattan, so, why can't you take Gotham? So Batman goes up against this guy, and he sees that he's killing, and Batman just confronts him, and Jason's just like, huffing and puffing, like, you're in my way. He doesn't say anything, but it's more like, you're in my way, get out. I want to kill these kids. Like, you're not going anywhere. And so Batman comes in, and Batman is, like, first off, I do love that scene, too, where the guy just boxes him and says, give me your best shot, and just takes his head clean off. But that guy, while in good shape for a boxer, was not peak human, could take on metahumans. So even if Jason throws a punch, Batman can probably take, admittedly not a serious punch from Jason, because he's probably just like, it's another dude. Batman can actually probably take at least a standard punch from Jason. It will hurt, and he'll be knocked for a loop, but he can take a punch, I imagine. But Batman's also not stupid either. He's not gonna. He can tell this guy's He can tell this guy's burly and strong. He probably gets a Solomon Grundy vibe off him because he just he throws some batterings at him. They just insert and he just pulls them out and keeps going. Batman electrifies him. Jason just tries to grab onto him and does, but Batman's suit is capable of resisting electric shots. So Batman's like, ugh, and Batman just punches him in the face. Ultimately breaks his arm. So Jason's down an arm, but Jason, Jason still has a machete, comes at Batman, and it does cut Batman's armor. Now his armor's thick enough that a standard machete shouldn't be able to cut it like by a normal swing. I mean, it shouldn't be able to do a serious amount of damage. It might like scuff up the armor, but because it's Jason, it actually cuts and actually injures Batman. He's like, ugh. Suddenly he throws smoke grenades down. Jason kind of just cracks his arm back into place. Batman sees it too because his cowl's got sensory devices, and he's actually looking for a pulse, and he can see that Jason isn't technically alive. Like he realizes like this guy's like Solomon Grundy, which means I don't have to hold back on this guy. So while Jason's arm's still kind of repairing himself, Batman ninjas his way around behind Jason because Batman can sneak behind Superman, and Jason's senses aren't that keen. And just snaps his neck, and then just done. Jason goes down because Jason still is able to try to get up, but Batman ultimately takes the machete and just takes his head off. Now here's the thing: is Batman going to get possessed by Jason? Because that is the issue with any of these scenarios where Batman is, or where Jason from the original series is killed like that. does Batman, consume Jason's heart or whatever? Batman, I mean, all characters, let's be very clear. Every character in DC and Marvel at some point has been manipulated by someone. No matter how indomitable their will is, they've all been manipulated on some level by someone. Even someone like Doctor Doom got manipulated by the Grand Marquis at one point. Now, granted, the Grand Marquis is one of the most messed up individuals in Marvel Comics, but still, he got manipulated. This is Doom we're talking about. So Batman is very capable of being manipulated. But Batman has also got extremely high willpower, and again, isn't stupid. He could tell, like, he could feel some sort of sense over him and be like, there's something wrong with his body. Takes the body, he just burns Jason's way. He just burns the body. Now, Jason's spirit still lives on, obviously, and maybe starts possessing, and Batman maybe has to go around stopping the Jason possessing individuals. But I think at that point, he either calls in someone like Constantine or Dr. Fate or someone to deal with this, because this is stuff he's not prepped to deal with. So that is standard Jason. Uber Jason. Batman is going to immediately realize he can't take this guy down in a one-on-one fight. This guy's too durable, too powerful, too strong. Nothing Batman throws at this guy's is taking him down. That's where Batman has to go and get a bat suit, like a giant mecha bat suit, which he has several versions of those. The question is, does something like even the Justice Buster, would that be able to, do anything to Jason, Uber Jason? So we'll use the Justice Buster, because I have no idea. I have no doubt that the final Batsuit, that they call it the final Batsuit, which he donned in, I believe it was like a not Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it was like one of the most recent stories, like Infinite Earths thing or multiverse thing, whatever, the World Forger and all that. I have no idea. I have no doubt that Batsuit or the Hellbat suit, which he used to fight Darkseid, could kill Uber Jason because he was able to go toe-to-toe with, like, Darkseid in that suit. But what about the Justice Buster? Because it's another one of the most prominent ones. Designed to take out the Justice League and have things that each of the Justice should be able to take down each of the Justice League. For Superman's case, it has, like, miniature red suns on his fist. For Flash, he was able to squirt out a friction-resistant substance that basically means he couldn't get any traction. Aquaman, he put him in a special foam. I can't remember what he used for Wonder Woman. He had some things for other characters as well. But would it be strong enough to take down Uber Jason? Physically, I think it's stronger than Uber Jason. But can it do enough damage to put the dude down? That's the question. I imagine Batman would have to get tricky. He'd probably basically slick up the surface with the no stick, or with the friction-resistant substance, so the Flash couldn't get anything, or that he used on the Flash, so Jason couldn't stand or move or anything like that. Well, move, but he'd be flopping around. Then he'd probably try to bind him in the foam. Excuse me, because there's no way he's going to be able to get out of that. And then he's probably going to backhand him with the many suns that the Atom shrunk down. Because whether or not they're small R's, they're still freaking suns. So, yeah. And again, physically, I think the Justice Buster is strong to take on Uber Jason. But if Uber Jason starts to get hits in, he could probably tear the Justice Buster apart. It might take a little bit on because he's a lot smaller than the Justice Buster. He's still nowhere near as strong as someone like Superman or Wonder Woman, but he could definitely probably tear the Justice Buster apart. I imagine that Batman is not going to let him get to that point, so I will give the edge to Batman in that. Batman could beat the human version of Jason without too much difficulty. Again, he fights individuals much tougher, but still human than human Jason any day of the week. Which leaves us with comic Jason. And comic Jason is similar to Uber Jason, and Batman doesn't really have an immediate thing to take him down with. It's one of those things where his regeneration is so high that Batman could start just dishing out damage. It doesn't really matter. Jason also is still very strong and capable and very skilled, despite what it may seem. He's got great accuracy. He took down a helicopter with just a shot from a crossbow one time. So he's definitely someone who Batman does not want to get into a physical altercation with if he can help it. Can he break through Batman's cable, his lines? Maybe. He might be able to. Between his strength, the machete, I imagine he could. Gassing him's not really going to do much. Electrocuting him, unlike Uber Jason, might do a little something. But Batman's probably going to be have one of those things where he's kind of at wit's end, where he ultimately has to kind of use explosive gel to basically, he basically puts like explosive gel on the machete after he gets a hold of it with the battery, throws it back at Jason, and stabs him with it. And just as he's about to pull out, Jason actually sees the explosive gel and just boom, just explodes right on him. So I will say, but then again, that's not going to put Jason down for good. But it gives Batman enough time to regroup and think of another strategy. I'll say this, because he doesn't really have any clear-cut abilities that can overwhelm Batman, in the sense that, yes, he's stronger theoretically than Batman is. His generation's high and his durability's high. But none of those straight out beat Batman, because Batman's beaten individuals very much like that. Because he doesn't have any straight individual abilities that completely overwhelm Batman, like he doesn't have the Force, he doesn't manipulate energy, he doesn't move at light speed. Even if he does teleport, Batman is a trained tactician. He could probably sense Jason somehow got behind him, and he would dodge the hell out of the way. And possibly still get hurt, but it'd be a flesh wound comparatively. Yeah, I'm going Batman in all these fights. Now, granted, I only say Batman wins the Uber Jason fight because Batman does have access to a lot of tech. You can ram him with the Batmobile if he needed to. Batman probably wouldn't put Uber Jason down, but it would slow him down. He does have Batmechs, so there's my reasoning and logic for Uber Jason and Batman winning. But to be fair, if it is just Batman versus Uber Jason, then Uber Jason wins that fight. Because Batman doesn't have the physicality or any tech on him that could stop Uber Jason. He just doesn't have that. He would need to go and get one of his bat suits to do that. That's the only way he beats Uber Jason. So for anyone who thinks you a Batman fanboy, you hate Jason. Jason's awesome. Jason can tell him Jason is this man. I understand that, but think about it really like this: if you were to throw any of these versions of Jason into the DC universe, how well do you think they'd actually stack up against a lot of individuals? Probably not well. Because even if you take away the supernatural aspect of Jason, or even if you add the supernatural aspect of Jason in there, there are supernatural beings that far supersede him in terms of power. Even Constantine is a master exorcist, so he could exorcise Jason's spirit out of the body. Which, at that point, when you think about it, Jason's body, is just a husk. It's just a moving husk that he uses to kill people with. So, and that's not even factoring in the fact that Jason would actually get his ass kicked by the majority of the DC universe. Jason would get his ass. I think someone's giving me that verses too, but I'm just going to say Jason would get his ass kicked by Solomon Grundy. I'm just saying right now. Not to say that Jason is incompetent or still isn't dangerous, and he could still kill individuals. Oh, he could. In fact, there's a good chunk of Batman's lesser rogues gallery that would get their asses, just taken out by Jason. But in the grand scheme of things, Jason, if you plop him in any comic universe, is going to get his teeth kicked in very seriously and very hard and very painfully. I'm sorry if you don't agree with that, and it's cool if you don't. But that to me is the reality of it. But again, the reality to me is still subjective because it is still my opinion. It's just when you look at everything that the information you have in front of you on those subjects, it just seems like a clear-cut answer to me. Again, though, my opinion. If you do feel differently, it's all good. It's all cool. We're friends here. We can disagree and still have fun. But I go Batman. Ultimately, though, that is, again, just my opinion. Let's get the fanboys down there. Let's get the fanboys and fangirls and just tear me a new one. Come on. I don't care. I'm on YouTube, man. I don't do this for a living. If I did do it for a living, I still wouldn't care. That's the thing. I don't care. I just don't. I will give you my opinion, whether you like it or not, or you agree with it or not. But that's kind of why you come to my channel anyway. I hope you come because you're just entertained by the video. But I know there's people who come because they agree with my opinion. There's people who don't agree with my opinion, but still come anyway. And that's cool too. We're all, like I said, we're all friends here. Anyway, that's enough of that, Elk. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I got to pre-record my, because this is pre-recorded on Tuesday for Wednesday. I got to pre-record my what if in a little bit. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.